Our NBC News poll, the final one, predicted what we saw happen on election night. A quick note, by the way, from our NBC News Decision Desk. Our early estimate of turnout is about 112.5 million, which would translate into 47% of the voting eligible population. The Decision Desk also estimates about a half of votes were cast before Election Day and the other half on Election Day. So a 50-50 split between those voting on Election Day and those voting early or via the mail. Joining me now are a couple of the brains behind our NBC News poll, Republican pollster Bill McInturff, Democratic pollster Jeff Horwitt. So, Bill, let's talk quickly turnout. You and I love playing the turnout game. Was high, not quite 18. Part of me thinks if you just take out the fall off in Florida, that almost would make up for it, because Florida had a unique fall off in turnout.
We got to take some perspective. 2018 was a huge and historic year. This is much higher than normal. And so we've got to take a victory lap that as a country, in terms of our confidence in the system, we're still having an incredibly large turnout as people go to vote in these elections.
Let's talk about the issue of polarization, Jeff, because that seemed to save the Democrats. Is that fair to say?
It did, and I think there were a number of indications over the course of the year that we were concerned from a Democratic point of view that the turnout wasn't going to meet our expectations about what we needed to, and I think the Supreme Court weighed in the middle of the year. I think that really sort of repolarized the electorate and made, I think, a lot of people, arguably, who may not have shown up in traditional midterm show up in November. I think that made a real difference given the results we're seeing right now and how close things are.
Yeah, Bill, we've been making a big deal out of these soft Biden disapprovers, that they turned out to be, it's pretty clear, had Republicans won these voters across the board, you'd have gotten what might have looked like a wave, right?
Well, they should have. They should have voted. 85% wrong track, not right. Biden people. And these are people who said they voted for Biden by 16 points, and they voted Republican by 2 points. That's a good number, but a lot of the Donald Trump endorsed candidates could not get these people to vote for them. And that made a difference in some of these close Senate campaigns.
When you look back now at the poll, what else do you see now that we missed that we should have seen? And it was sitting in our data.
Yeah, I think that it really was all the fundamentals that Bill rightly pointed out through the course of the campaign, how terrible the direction of the country, economy was. But I think the other through line that we saw throughout was the real concern about democracy. And that was a question we added in August, in our August poll, and it popped. And it was up there, threats to democracy, as the single most important issue.
In fairness, we were nervous about that question, right, Bill? Because we added it, and we're like, wow, oh, my God. It went number one. Did we... What have we met? What have we, it was one of those, but it stayed consistent.
Well, let me be honest. Abortion had dropped as an issue in terms of people saying there was a concern.
Saying it, yeah.
Saying there was a concern. So seeing the national exit poll say abortion almost matched inflation, it happened in our company's internal poll. That increase in salience for the abortion issue on Election Day vote, that's not something we were seeing in September and October.
I'm curious, and this is a little thing. We provide 8 or 9 different issues for people. The exit poll provides 5. Is that all? Is that something that So is that why that these numbers were what they were?
I think so. I think if you asked the same question, you would have gotten a very similar result.
We would have gotten abortion in the mid-20s.
I think we would have. There was no place for the threats to democracy voter to go, really, other than abortion. And again, 68% said that was a big deal for them, threats to democracy. So, yes, I think that's right.
Bill, one of the great things you do is match, you sort of are able to calculate raw congressional vote and what that translates into seats. This is a new map of the country. It looks like we're looking at 220 to 225 Republican seats. What do you expect the raw House vote to end up?
I think Republicans will win the national vote by 2 or 3 points. Historically,
that should translate to more seats than that.
Yes, absolutely, Chuck. What it should have been at 2 or 3 points, Republicans should be at 228 to 232. And so the drop in terms of measuring Republican underperformance are not all these 230s, 240s. It's looking at, gosh, if we, in the past, last 6 elections that we've won a majority as Republicans, it should be 228 or 232 if you win the vote 2 or 3 points. And we're not doing that. And that's the drop that makes this more difficult elections for Republicans.
If you're President Biden, do you believe you have a 45% approval rating? Or do you believe it's a little bit higher because there's clearly some of the, and I say this for this reason, some of these disapprovers, they don't hate him. Yeah. They just are disappointed right now in what he's been doing. So how do you deal with those people?
Look, I think he is at 44, 45%.
Right.
That's a real number. I think he has ability with those voters to get some of them on his side. These are younger voters. I think sort of the economic anxiety, particularly, they are hurting more than others. And so this is sort of a lot of ways sort of like a Sanders voter who, he has the opportunity there. But he is where he is right now for a reason.
There was one headline in our poll that we never got to make a headline because we got caught up in the election. Donald Trump fell even further inside our poll among Republicans, Bill. He's down to 30% of Republicans now identifying him. Is that 30% enough to win a Republican nomination?
I think Donald Trump's still the likely nominee if he runs. But I want to say really quickly, when President Biden said, when they said, we're going to change, he said nothing. That's a horrible mistake. And Republicans need to look at this election and say, we had everything going for us. We don't have the majorities we're supposed to have. We need to understand that's a rebuke on the Republican Party. These voters are telling us they're not happy with either party.
No, it's pretty clear. It was a negative electorate who sent multiple messages. Jeff Horwitt, Bill McInturff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You guys were terrific all cycle long.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.